So I am working with nations leaders throughout the world to transform the world transportation grids with my technology to meet the Paris Accords agreement. The invention that I'm inventing would allow electric cars to be self-powered, self-ionized. I am looking to retrofit all governments and their government vehicles. So I'm negotiating with leaders of all nations to retrofit their government vehicles with my technology. It will make it possible for their vehicles to be self-charged. So, for example, I'm working with America and Congress to retrofit all of America's 18-wheelers, all of America's post office vehicles, Amazon post office delivery vehicles, uh, UPS, FedEx, uh, all the major American car manufacturers, uh, uh, and their and the Pentagon vehicles too. So to make it possible for the vehicles of the Pentagon to have abilities to travel cross country without having to slow down, without having to fuel with gasoline or fuels. So now it will be possible for the Pentagon to have vehicles that can travel cross country and never have to stop as far as convoys, never have to be caught without fuel or quarantine and starved from gasoline. So my cars will make it possible for the Pentagon to have vehicles that can travel throughout the country without having to be stopped or slowed down, including their tanks. So I'm gonna retrofit their tanks, their terrestrial vehicles. The same with NATO and their armored vehicles and their government vehicles. And in the commercial sector, I look forward to working with Europe car manufacturers uh, and their truck manufacturers. So throughout the world, all the cargo hauling companies and they will be able to transport all their cargoes for free without having to worry about refueling or in other words, my technology will make it possible for the transportation grids of tomorrow to allow truck hauling companies to be able to ship their and transport their cargo for free, thanks to my technology. So the way that technology works is that while the vehicle is driving down the road, all the wheels of the vehicles will be generating electric energy back into the electric batteries of the car. So cars, for the life of the vehicle, my technology would allow these vehicles to be self-ionized and self-powered uh, without no need of plugging in or charging the vehicles. So the vehicles basically are self-independent, self-sufficient, and self-ionized. And so I will be negotiating with Capital Ventures uh, throughout the world. These are hundreds of billion-dollar deals that I will be negotiating throughout the world with government leaders and the private sector to stimulate the production and the capabilities of electric vehicles. Now, I will make it possible for all the electric car manufacturers and electric truck manufacturers throughout the world to transform their fleets. And for that, I am lobbying uh, members of the United Nations organizations and working and beginning to open up negotiations with the Secretary of the United Nations. And like I said, this is to meet the Paris Accord agreements. So I will be working with leaders of all countries and their private sectors of venture capital to stimulate my company. I'm looking to open up my company throughout the world to manufacture this capability. And I look forward to entertaining any business proposal and letter of intents from anybody that I will be reaching out to if you are interested you're most likely welcome to reply back through email, or you can reach me at my phone number that I will provide attached to this tutorial. That will be my personal phone number, and we can negotiate and take it from here. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much for your time. So, within the United Nations, I want to work to wean the world off of gasoline vehicles. So all of the vehicles of tomorrow will be electric vehicles. All of the transportation trucks of the world will be running for free on my technology. So the world economy will stimulate itself by being able to transport commodity goods, imports and exports, with 18-wheelers that deliver their cargo for free. The militaries of the world will be electric vehicles. All of the military terrestrial vehicles will be running on my technology. And so I'm working with United Nations, the Pentagon, NATO, and our allies abroad to retrofit all of their government vehicles, civil government vehicles, emergency vehicles, and military terrestrial vehicles. I will be working throughout the world to reach out to all nations' leaders and raise capital venture money to streamline my technologies. I will be working directly with the United Nations Assembly, because I believe that we should wean off the world from gasoline pollution that is choking off the planet and destroying our hemispheres of this planet. So it's up the utmost important in my agenda to wean the world off of the dependency of gasoline. And so I will be working with investors of all nations to raise capital to start my venture capital company, manufacturing company that will provide all of the major governments throughout the world and their private vehicles for their private sectors when it comes to car manufacturers, truck manufacturers, and their military vehicles. They will all be self-dependent, self-sufficient, self-ionized vehicles. For the life of the vehicle, these vehicles stays charged, never have to be plugged in, never have to be manually charged. And so people will not have to worry about plug-in stations, electrical plug-in stations, and they will have to not worry about physically, manually powering the cars, because these cars are self-ionized. For the life of the vehicle, the car stays charged and never needs to be manually or physically any which way. It will not need to be charged. For the life of the vehicle, the car is self-ionized. And so for this reasons, and I will be reaching out to stakeholders, investors, capital ventures, and government leaders throughout the world. And so I will be working directly with the United Nations to meet the Paris Accord agreements that all nations must abide by in order to safeguard our planet's environment. So I look forward to working with all types of organizations, leaderships, and stakeholders in this effort. Thank you. One more thing I forgot to mention. When I say for free, I mean that the 18-wheelers will be able to self-charge themselves for free. I didn't mean to say that they would have my technology for free. So I wanted to extenuate to not have that misperception. So again, all the 18-wheelers of transportation companies, the 18-wheelers will be able to self-charge themselves as their wheels are spinning down the road of the highways and roads when they deliver cargoes throughout the world. The vehicles are self-charging, so basically the vehicle drives without having to pay for gasoline or diesel. So my technology makes that possible. But I didn't meant to say or insinuate that I will give up my technology for free or offer it for free. So that's a disclaimer that I wanted to make sure that everybody understood. And the photographs that are used in this tutorial is just for explanatory purposes and in no way, shape, form whatsoever has to do with the actual engineering invention of mine. So these photographs are just for a visual effect, explanatory purpose. These technologies don't have nothing to do with the actual photographs themselves and are independent of these photographs.